Have you ever wondered why is that person so far ahead of me? It's not because they're older, it's not because they were given more time, it's not because they have a better upbringing, but it's because they were given the same hours you and I were, but they built a completely different life. You know? And that's exactly what happened to me when I was coming straight out of high school into becoming a man, a young man, an adult, right? And I'm a couple years out of high school at this point. I'm about like 19 years old, and I remember I had a guy that I went to school with. His name was Chris, right? And this guy was like ahead of the curve, even with everybody in high school. Like he was jacked, right? And after high school, I kept up with him, right? I follow him on social media and everything else. And I was never like a doom scroller, but I was always on the game. And one day I picked up my phone, right? I picked up my phone and I saw his post come up on Instagram. And bro was driving a McLaren, right? And he just bought his Tesla. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, hold up, like, wait a second, I'm confused. How does bro have all this abundance? Like, how did he lap me like 6 times over again? How did he completely transform his life? And I'm just now getting a job and I'm trying to save up for my first vehicle, which is a Chrysler. And I'm still not as jacked as him. And, it seemed like he had everything that I wanted. And the thing is like, I'm older than him. I'm literally older than him, right? And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand. He has the same amount of time I have, but I feel like I have no time. And this guy somehow accomplished his dream life in just 2 years. And when I looked back on what I was doing the same things on the game for 10, 12 hours, chasing girls, chasing lust, partying, validation, like literally still doing the same things I was doing in high school. But when I looked at what he was doing, he became a completely different person. He was taking risk, he was doing sales, he was climbing the ladder in a company that he was working with, and I was like, this is a whole different type of dude now. Like, he's not even the same guy that I once knew in high school. And this really made me think, like, I don't get it. I have a job just like him. I'm in the gym just like him. I even spend time trying to, at the time, I was doing time meal prepping, all this like, crash diet stuff like asparagus, chicken, rice, broccoli, foods I absolutely hated before I found the Flex formula and do what I do today, which is help people and my clients lose fat without restrictive dieting. And if you've watched the channel, you know this. But long story short, I felt like I was doing everything he was doing, but his life looked totally different than mine. And I realized it was like, I felt like I didn't have enough time. Like, I felt like I didn't have as much time as he did. I was like, I actually literally was like telling my friends this about like, I just feel like I don't have enough time, man. Like, he has this, and that. And by the time I get off work, I feel like I don't have time to try to learn a new skill or try to get out there and develop. Like, I'm always on a time crunch. Like, I'm never getting enough sleep and everything else like that. So I was under the illusion that I just didn't have time to be a winner like him, right? For some reason, his time was working with him and my time was against me. And then once I started like reflecting, I started seeing this in everyone though. This was where it all changed because my boy Logic, right? Same deal. In high school, he decided to go to Spalding and chase being a professional college football player, right? A professional football player. And sure enough, He's coming out jacked, super athletic. He's doing big things with his life. He's traveling and he's like getting recognition. And here I go again. I'm like, it's only been 2 years. Why is everybody like severely passing me? You know, like I'm doing the same type of thing. It's like I'm working too. I'm trying to make it to the gym, and you know I don't because I just don't have time. Right, is what I tell myself. I wanted their bodies, but I didn't have time to, you know, learn about nutrition properly and everything else. And I wanted their wins and their success, but I didn't have time to learn a skill and go all in on it. And that's when I really started looking around, and it wasn't just Chris or Logic. It was like everybody was just passing me up. And I was evaluating my friend group, and I'm like, wait a second, we all do the same thing, and we're all in the same boat. I was like, nah, man, like something's off here. And that's when I realized that it was never a time issue. It was a priority issue. Because me and Chris and Logic all had the same 2-year gap. We all got the same amount of time, right? The same amount of days, 2 years. Their life completely changed and mine stayed the exact same, if not got worse, right? It's because what I was prioritizing. And when I started doing the math and thinking about it, like, wait a second. If I just spent 14 hours grinding Gears of War, imagine what I could have done with those 14 hours when it comes to my nutrition, gym, learning a skill, and making more money. I was like, wow, hold on, wait a second. You mean to tell me I'm doing this on a loop though? I'm spending 10 hours a day on the game, and then weekends it's all I'm doing. That I was wasting 50 hours a week. I thought I was doing the right things. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was prioritizing my time effectively. Time with girls, time with partying, time with a social life, like a work-life balance, right? And then I'd go to my work and it'd be just enough for me to be complacent. I'd go to the gym maybe 2-3 times a week, and then I would be on a crash diet, fall off, get fat, and I was just doing enough to make me think that my priorities were actually good priorities, but in reality, my priorities were trash. And as soon as I became older and I eventually switched my priorities and I came to this realization, that's when now I look back at people who are my age, 26, and I have lapped them. Now, this isn't ever really a competition. I don't really care what they're doing. The greatest competition you could ever have is with yourself. My greatest competition is me, right? Because I always want to become better. But the reason I say that is because when I'm competing with myself, knowing that I want to become the best version of myself, that means every day I want to challenge myself to do something hard. I just got done at Omega Gym. I just met Ashton Hall, right? A lot of you guys probably know who that is. Super viral. I'll pop him up. And I asked him for advice, and he was telling me, he was like, bro, you know, just challenge yourself, do something new and difficult every week. Whether you're reading a book, read more pages, or whether you're going to challenge yourself or work out harder, whatever it is, just make sure you're getting better every week. And that was good. And then we got to talking, and he was like, bro, like you know, you have your own business, da-da-da, you took the risk, and you're doing the right thing. He was like, you're already winning, bro. You just got to win harder. I was like, bet. And the thing is, like, when I realized the priority thing, I looked at Chris and I looked at Logic, and then I looked at all these people that I wanted to be like who were successful. And I realized that they have the same 24 hours. Their priorities were way different than mine. They did not care about a work-life balance. They did not care about a social life balance. They did not care about entertaining women, relationships, and cheap dopamine. They did not care about that. They had a goal that they wanted to be really great at, and they chased it. And they chased it until they got the result that they want. Chris is now making millions of dollars, and Logic is on the TV screen playing professional football. Okay? And here I am. You could use me as an example. Now, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but guess what? If you were to tell me 3 years ago, like, Josh, you're going to have your own fitness coaching business where you help a whole bunch of people, like over 50 plus people in your first year, make incredible transformations, and you change your mindset, you get them closer to Jesus, and you start having influence, and your Instagram page reaches millions, I'd be like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, really? But then if I told myself the same thing and I said, yeah, bro, but guess what? The reason why it's like that is because you're no longer going to chase women. You're no longer going to goon and have that corn addiction. You're no longer going to just chase cheap dopamine and be on the game and waste hours doing nothing. Your priorities are going to shift. And once they do, time will be on your side. Once the priorities shift, that's when your life that you really want will change. And that's exactly like what it comes down to when you're trying to get in shape, when you're trying to get arms and the body and the abs, and you're trying to get everything that you want from your physique. Guess what? It's not a time issue. If you use Google Calendar, you could see how much time you really have. You have to ask yourself, what are you spending your time doing rather than how much time do you have, right? Because we all know the person who works construction 14-hour days, has 2 jobs, but is in still great shape, right? I work 70 hours a week and I'm in great shape, okay? There's people out there, and it's not a time issue because we're all given the same resource of 24 hours. It's a priority issue. What are your priorities? Think about it. If your priority was really to get in the best shape of your life, do we prioritize going out and drinking alcohol and getting trashed when we know that's going to destroy protein? No, we probably wouldn't. Would we chase things that are going to make us sway off the track that we're trying to be on when it comes to the gym? Are we going to prioritize, all right, I have 2 hours after work, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to see this girl I like? That girl, bro, no matter how much you love her or like her, she's never going to get the body for you, okay? And she's probably going to respect you less because you don't have it. Because your body is a straight self-image. It's a mirror of, hey, this is how disciplined of a person I am. This is how driven of a person I am. This is how much I love myself, right? It's like, what are you doing with your time? How many times are you going to prioritize the gym on the weekends rather than the club? How many times are you going to prioritize eating the foods you know you should rather than the foods that you actually want? It's not a time issue. If you look at every successful person, right, who's actually achieved a ton of things on this planet, they have the same 24 hours me and you do, dog. They have the same time. Nothing's different there. It's how they use it, their priorities. Ask you, do you think Elon Musk doom scrolls? Do you think Arnold was out chasing women, clubbing when he was bodybuilding? No. He was bodybuilding. That was his priority. That was everything to him. He still worked construction, okay? He focused on the body and getting his goal, and then the body created other opportunities for him to act in Hollywood movies and do everything else. It's your priorities. And the thing is, if you're not in shape right now, and you keep thinking it's time and time's against you, I want you to ask yourself, before you say that again, because our words have power, and I don't want you to be deceived, before you say that again, I want you to actually take action and ownership of your schedule, of your time, and write down blocks of what you actually spend your time doing. And if you're too stubborn to write it down, then you're too stubborn to actually want to change anything, right? Write it down. It'll take you literally 10 minutes. And then you'll understand, like, wait a second, I spent 2 hours on FaceTime, 1 hour on the game, 1 hour doom scrolling, 30 minutes on the toilet. Yo, that's 4 hours. You could have hit the gym. You could have hit the gym, did some cardio, and then had a good meal. You could have used that 4-hour work block to meal prep. And the thing is, like, there's a guy out there, there's a version of you who takes that 4 hours and uses it diligently towards his goals, and then there's the other version of you that takes that 4 hours and just spreads it out, spreads himself thin, and just distracts himself, and then guess what? You will never get the outcome. It's not a time thing. It's what have you been prioritizing? Can you truly say with 100% certainty and conviction, I have 100% been committed and prioritizing my fitness goals? If the answer is no, then you still have room and time to adjust your priorities to get the body that you want. You have to make the time for what you want. And making the time really just means prioritizing your goals. Because every second that goes by is a second either wasted or a second used to get to where you want to be. Time is not the issue. It's what you do with it, how you spend your time. Now, for some of you, you guys know that time is not the issue. It's your priorities. And you have gotten your priorities in line, right? Like you've been working out, you've been eating the right things, but you haven't really seen the results that you wanted yet. I have this whole YouTube channel. I have tons of value on fat loss, cheat codes with nutrition, how you can get leaner, exercise videos. It's all in this YouTube. So if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and go check out those videos. And then if you still need more in-depth guidance, shoot me a text on my Instagram. I'll pop it up right here. And then, shoot me a text and then I'll see if I can help you out and break down like what you're currently doing. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. This is Conviction Talk number 5.